Hey everybody, thank you for coming. We are here for Octavia Morgan's Painted Experience. If you don't know who she is, you're going to find out today. So we're doing a Q&A and a little tea session, and we're going to talk about just some fragrance layering. Maybe you may find your signature scent. Octavia Morgan, I've been loving our fragrances for the past 3 years that I can remember. Fell in love with one, and I think I've taken that one fragrance oil like all over the world, to Milan,
yes.
to Dubai, like everywhere that I travel, I take her fragrance because I want everybody to know about Octavia Morgan. Now, if you don't know who she is a Black-owned beauty brand, a clean, fine fragrance brand out of Los Angeles, California, and we're here to celebrate her today. And you can get to know a little bit more about Octavia Morgan. So happy to be here and happy to have you all. So thanks, Octavia.
Thank you, Marcy. Thank you for agreeing to do this. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
And cheers to this great interview.
Cheers to this tea session, you all. So I hope everyone has smelled all of the fragrances because we're going to talk about some layering, and maybe that'll jog your scent memory as to what you may want to layer together after this event, okay? So Octavia, we have a couple questions. For those of all that don't know you, because I know you very well, what started this fragrance journey? I know once you were a nurse, as I am.
Yes.
And that's a love within itself. I won't give people too much information because I know a lot about you, but I'll let you start to let everybody know what started this journey for you and the passion behind you wanting to start this journey.
So what started this journey for me is a couple years ago, well, almost 10 years ago now, I started to develop fragrance sensitivity to some of the products that were on the market at the time. And so once I figured out that it was fragrance sensitivity, I went to the marketplace to find a cleaner, natural alternative and really couldn't find what I was looking for. So, my grandmother was one of those people where she was like, if you can't find it, then you make it. Right. So I took my love of, I have a science background, which
Yes.
Marcy alluded to. I am a nurse. And then my grandmother was an herbalist. So I put those two things together and I created the first 4 in our line. And I really created them for myself. It was very personal expression, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't really anything that was supposed to be sold into the marketplace. In fact, I was making them and I was giving them away.
Oh, wow.
And my partner at the time, he told me, he was like, you can't keep giving these away. You have to sell them. And I still wasn't sold on it, right? I wasn't sold on the idea because as you alluded to, I was a nurse. I was a mother, a wife. I was all the things, right? And I didn't want to add one more thing to my plate. And my brother, we built a website and I just wasn't getting a lot of traffic, right? Because we were new. And my brother, I was meditating, and in my meditation, all I heard was "take it to the streets." And it was very funny for me because if you know me, I'm very introverted, right? I'm not one of those people that are like these big personalities, right? And so I was like, okay, this is interesting. So I was talking to my brother and he was like, Octavia, I have a booth for you. Come to this festival. And I was like, okay, fine. So if nothing else, it was in Orange County, and my sisters and my friends, we all got together and we actually got rooms at a resort. So I said, if nothing else, we're going to have a good time. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, we sold out, but that still wasn't the catalyst. What happened was a woman came and at the time I had 4 fragrances and I had a home spray. She was able to smell everything and she started to sob. And I was like, okay, what happened? And she was like, I haven't been able to wear fragrances in 12 years. Mm-hmm. And that really lit a fire under me because I said it's other people out there that is like me, and we have to get this out we have to get this out there because at the time we know that clean fragrances have come a long way, right? Mm-hmm. We have these really beautiful expressions, but back then they were very flat, single noted. They didn't last, and it's a cultural thing. Within our culture, we like to have fragrances that are bold and rich. We want you to smell us coming, and we want you to smell us going.
Yes.
Right? And it was like, I couldn't find that. So it was just like, it's other people out there like me. And it started me down this whole trajectory and this journey to where we are now within ULTA Beauty. I was accepted into the ULTA Beauty Muse program. And within that program, they don't really like guarantee that you're going to get placement in the store, but here I am. I started with 4 and I'm 6 fragrances in now.
Yes. So now I know you're 6 fragrances in. What was your very first fragrance, and what inspired the name behind that fragrance?
So very interesting. So my first fragrance was Legendary. And it was legendary because I work with a vulnerable population. So not only was I a nurse, I was a hospice and palliative care nurse. So my patients were very sensitive. So I wanted something that I can wear that was non-offensive, wouldn't give them any issues or problems. And that's why it was Legendary. And when I created it, that was just the name that came. I was like, this is like, okay, you're doing something legendary.
Right.
And so that's how the name came about.
Right. Okay. All right. It's a bit warm in here, y'all. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You have a fan? We have a fan or something?
Oh, anyway, we all know that today, in today's world, everyone loves layering fragrances. How do you feel about layering and making fragrances your own? And what should the person take from wearing your fragrance? We'll start with, what should the person take from wearing your fragrance? How should they feel, or how do you want them to feel when wearing your perfume?
So for me, it's important that whoever purchases our fragrances and wears our fragrances, they feel cared for, right? They feel very much like it's a lot of intention and a lot of love that has gone into making these fragrances. And it's very interesting, right? It's even in my logo. So my logo is very interesting. So it has the O and the M, and everyone is like, oh, but it's deeper than that. So I love museums. Mm-hmm. So I was in a museum and I was talking to a docent and I was looking at Jean-Michel Basquiat. And in his paintings, I kept on seeing this M with the slash through it. And so I asked the docent, I said, hey, what is that about? What does that mean? And you know what he told me? He said that he put this in his paintings because we were all kings and queens. So I took that as inspiration. So when I created the logo, I made sure that little crown was there because I want everyone that wears our fragrance to feel like a king or a queen.
And I didn't know that. As much as we've talked before, I had no idea. Okay, so like you said, your first fragrance was Legendary, and then came along.
So next was Dark Rose. So Dark Rose, I wanted a fragrance that was unapologetically sexy, right? One of the things is I feel like in society, that's for you, Marcy. In society, I feel like we always have to apologize for everything, be it women or men. If you're a mom, like, why do you look like that? You know, right. Dress up. If you're a woman and you dress sexy, why are you dressed like that? I wanted a fragrance that was very bold in your face and very like, this is who I am. Yeah. Right. And I have a love affair with rose. So I received my first fragrance at 5 years old, which was a rose fragrance. It literally smelled like crushed roses. Mm-hmm. So I've always loved roses. And I wanted to bring that rose out, but do it in a moody and sexy way. But also men and women will be able to wear it. And that was Dark Rose.
And is that the tea rose memory that you have?
Yes.
Okay.
It was on my little dresser. It was so funny.
And that memory's tied to your grandmother.
And that memory is very much tied to the women to my grandmother and the women in my family. Like, one of the things, my fondest memory is my grandmother's house was the house that everyone would come to, right? And so when it was time they would go out or go to a concert or something, they would always be dressed. And before they left out the door, I remember them, it was always some perfume on the little stand next to the couch. And they would all come and just spray.
Wow.
And I always remember how beautiful they looked. And at the last part was them just spraying their fragrance. And one of the things is she told me is a woman that is never fully dressed until she sprays her fragrance.
Yeah, I completely believe that, because I know when I leave the house and I don't have on a fragrance, I feel like I've forgotten something intimate and something that, it's something missing for the day.
Yes.
So, and that's how much I love fragrance. By the way, my name's Marcelena Theresa. Sorry. It's Marshmallow on Instagram. I'm on like all social media platforms, and that's where I met Octavia Morgan, and I ordered her dark rose oil.
Yes.
Initially, it was just the oil, and I fell completely in love with the oil. And I just wanted to tell the world about it. And I'm like, who's this woman with all these beautiful fragrances? Not to mention, she's an amazing nurse as well. And then she wants a clean fragrance, which we all need in, California. So, which we all love in California, So let's talk about a little bit of layering. So you have 2 new fragrances that were just launched, Vanilla and Supreme. And then we have the beautiful Casablanca. So there's so many fragrances that you can layer together here and make it your own.
So we have the 2 vanillas. I call them double vanilla, right? And we like to say, welcome to your vanilla era. So I've been getting asked for for 2 years to make a vanilla scent. I was extremely apprehensive because I don't feel like that's what we do. We don't do gourmand, we don't do these sweet, cakey gourmands. That's not what it is that I do. And so I have a mentor that I bounce ideas off of, or I go seek to get advice from him. And one of the things he was like, Octavia, you can do it, but do it your way. You don't have to follow any trends. Do it the way that you want to do it. And so for me, I always look to nature, right? And one thing about nature is very interesting. It's always about order, balance, stability, right? When you look to nature. So what I did was I ordered Madagascar vanilla beans, and I literally sat with them for 60 days and I just smelled. Wow. What does the true essence of vanilla smell like? If we take away if we take away everything, what is this? And so it was very interesting. Some I would smell and they would smell a little hints of floral with the vanilla, creamy. Some of the pots I would smell, they would be rich and they would have this woody note to it, right? And I was like, oh, this is very interesting. So I didn't want to make 1 vanilla. I ended up making 2 vanillas, right? Because I was very much inspired by it, right? And so vanilla, what I love about Vanilla and Supreme is I think it's a very grown-up gourmand. It's a very sophisticated vanilla scent. So with I think it's right here. I'm sorry, and I'll get it. Thank you, my love. So with this one, what's very nice is not only does it have vanilla, but it also has rose, cocoa, and sandalwood. But what's very interesting is it has a hint of rum in it. So it gives you that depth. So on the dry down, you get this light airiness, but as it dries down with the sandalwood, it starts to become creamy and boozy and rich. So it gives you a different feel than than some of the traditional scents that we've been smelling as far as vanillas, right? And I loved it. And I really and I was very interested in creating a scent that we could layer. Okay. Because I'm very interested in layering, right? I think that for what's going on right now, we buy so many different scents, right? We buy, we consume, we buy and we consume, but we can't wear those scents. Like, you have all these scents, you don't want to wear the same scent every day, or you want to interchange them. But I was like very interested in, with the layering, you are really customizing your scent. You become your own perfumer, right? And it's very interesting to me, so that you can take 2 fragrances that you haven't worn in years because they're put away and you're over them, and you can bring them back, add another scent on top of that, and come up with this new configuration, and it's completely different. And I find that so interesting because I'm all about repurposing what it is that I have. I like to keep things, but I also like to add to it. Like, it's like decorating your house, right? You have this staple sofa, and then you're changing out your cushions, you're changing out little things to change it up and make it a little bit different. And why can't we do that with our fragrance?
We can be very adventurous. And I think with your line of fragrances. To me, you can layer them all together. There's some here that I have on a layer today, which is Casablanca, and I have on La Fer.
Oh,
So,
that's a
yes, it
good
is.
combo.
So, yeah, what we want you to do with Octavia Morgan's line is just to be adventurous. Like she said, be your own perfumer, make it your own, and I know there's something or several things that everyone would love.
Yes. Yes. And one of the things is I say, like at Octavia Morgan, we have something for everyone,
Yes.
right? If we have lighter scents that are a little bit lighter for those that are extremely sensitive. And when we think about sensitivity, we have to think about not just people that are fragrance sensitive. We talk about people that are pregnant.
Yes.
They're extremely sensitive. Or people that are going through illnesses and going through different
Yes.
things. They're extremely sensitive, but they also want to still smell good.
Yes.
We have something for them. And then we have some scents that are bold and rich and, those scents that where you want to be seen.
Yeah.
So I like to say, like, all the scents that we have, they're unisex. So all of our scents is very interesting. They're always going to be grounded in some type of wood, something heavy, so that gentlemen are able to wear these scents as well. And as light as La Fer is, I have a lot of men that buy this scent from me and they love it.
Yes.
Because that one is grounded in cedar wood and apple wood, so it gives it that depth to it. Right. And on them, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, the fresh and the cleanness. All right, we want to thank you all for coming out and experiencing this fragrant moment with us. And thank you, Octavia Morgan.
Thank you, Marcy.
For being an ULTA Beauty. This is an epic moment, an epic time in history, you all, with ULTA Beauty and Octavia Morgan. And we just want to thank you for pushing forward, following your passion and your love. And we appreciate you and all these good fragrances as well. All right, thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Can we get a group photo with Octavia and everyone here?
Yes.
Awesome.
Hi.
Oh.